أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله.
الآن في بروكلين، هذا قلب نيويورك، ونحن في مسجد التقوى. هذا مسجد إمام سراج وهاج، وهو من أكبر الدعاة في أمريكا حقيقة.
بس بروكلين منطقة يعني فقيرة تعتبر؟
والله فيها الفقر وفيها بعض المناطق لا بأس بها، لكن المنطقة
شعبية.
هنا شعبية. نعم.
لفت نظري الأذان.
لا، الأذان تبارك الله صوت عالي
وفي
جدا
الحي يعني
ويسمع من بعيد.
من بعيد حقيقة.
نعم.
شيء عجيب.
نعم.
أنا تعجبت. أوروبا ما في كذا.
نعم، ما يسمحون.
ما يسمحون
ما يسمحون
بالتصريح ممكن.
لكن الحمد لله الناس تأقلموا مع المسلمين هنا.
عجيب والله.
وهذا المسجد عنده شعبية، وكذلك إمام سراج امتاز بتنظيف المنطقة. المسجد نظفوا من باعة المخدرات ومشاكل والبغى وهذه المشاكل التي كانت في المنطقة. بوجود المسجد ووجود المسلمين هنا المجتهدين، هم أخرجوا هذه الأشياء من المنطقة، فالناس فرحوا بذلك.
هنا صار حادث من فترة.
نعم.
عشان كذا عندهم السور هذا. قال لي أحد إنه دخلت سيارة تراك.
نعم.
دخلت بعد سبتمبر 11 فبنوا السور. ففي حوادث يعني أحيانا كمان كره للإسلام والمسلمين.
والله
في أمريكا يعني
جهال أكثرهم لا يعلمون، اللهم يهدي قومي فإنهم لا يعلمون.
كيف سبحان الله شيخ حمزة المسجد الصباح والمسجد هذا، يعني المسجد اللي شفناه في الصباح كيف فخم والبناء.
هذا هو. أنا بغيت أريكم للأسف الفرق بين الإسلام المهاجر في أمريكا وإسلام الأصليين. الإسلام الأصليين انتشر بين الفقراء، والمهاجرون كثير منهم أثرياء، وللأسف هناك تقصير. أنا أعتقد
يعني
في
هذول بحاجة صحيح
يعني
لمسجد.
ما شاء الله كثير من المهاجرين تبرعوا وساعدوا ببناء المساجد وهكذا، لكن هناك نوع من الإهمال
ليش المهاجرين ما بيدعموا
يعني هنا بحاجة لدعم مسجد.
لا، بحاجة للدعم. وأنا أرجو ممكن لعل الله يجعل في قلب أحد المشاهدين الأثرياء تبرع، لأنهم يريدون توسيع هذا المكان والإنفاق عليه. وهذا الرجل ما شاء الله جمع كثير من التبرعات في العالم في أمريكا.
ما شاء الله.
ساعد كثير من المساجد، والناس للأسف أهملوه. طيب،
السلام عليكم.
الحمد لله.
الحمد لله.
أحمد شبيري من جدة.
السلام عليكم.
والله I was driving by the sun.
Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
والله I just driving by.
Stop it.
سبحان الله.
Stop it. It's not like I do. Stop it.
waiting for the moment.
Yeah, right. It's not like I do. I say how you doing. How you doing?
I took the movie the other day. I don't know you're going to be here.
SubhanAllah. You saw the Siraj Wahaj. That was the light you saw.
I saw something.
Word eclipse. هذا المهم. هذا إدريس صاحبي هذا.
إدريس السلام عليكم.
السلام عليكم.
أحمد قصور الخطيب من جدة. وهذا مسجد التقوى. أنا قلت لهم ما شاء الله عندك الأذان هنا.
We understood that religiously, if the churches can play the bells,
Ring the bells, yeah.
then we can call the adhan. And the adhan, but the key though, they have the right person to call the adhan. One day we had one brother call the adhan. People started running. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله. نحن الآن في قلب مسجد التقوى.
Well, some of the Muslims tell me who migrated to this country that when they first came here, some of them, their religion was shaky. And as a result of seeing the Muslims practice in this country, they actually became stronger.
نعم.
It strengthened them.
I've heard that from
Many
a lot
cases,
of
a lot of people.
أنا
yeah.
سمعت من كثير من المهاجرين هنا قال أنا اكتشفت الإسلام هنا ووجدوا كذلك الإخوان الذين يمارسون الإسلام، لأن نحن مثلا في العالم الإسلامي يمارسون الإسلام بالسهولة. ما عندهم مضيقات، ما عندهم مشاكل إلى حد ما. يعني الآن في أشياء في مناطق، لكن عموما وكذلك كثير من الناس لا يقدرون هذه النعمة. مثلا نحن سمعنا الأذان، أنا ما سمعت الأذان من زمان والله، اشتقت إلى الأذان لما سمعت خارج الأذان، يعني سرني. Hearing the adhan it just makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
لأنه في العالم الإسلامي تسمع الأذان كل يوم 5 مرات، الناس ما يقدرون، بعضهم يرجعون إلى النوم، لا يلبون دعوة الله. عادة فقط.
Some people tell us in this neighborhood that they regulate their life. Non-Muslims. They tell us, oh, it's time to get up. Those Muslims are calling that thing again. And also another thing, Hamza, too.
Well, we say the early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, right.
الطير البكير يأخذ الدود. الشيء الذي أحب منه ما رأيت منه الحسد. نحن أتراب ونحن في نفس الميدان، وكثير من الأئمة ودعاة إذا اشتهر واحد يحسده غيره وهكذا. هذا الرجل أبدا ما ذقت هذا منه أبدا ولا مرة، وشعرت بمحبته الخالصة. والشيء آخر، لما أنا دخلت في أيام المشاكل، كثير من الناس انتقدوني لأشياء، هو الوحيد من بين كثير من هؤلاء أبدا ما وقف معي وقال هذا الرجل يعني يجتهد وممكن أنت تخالفه في اجتهاده، لكن هو له حق في ذلك. يعني نحن لا نحكم على نيته، أنت قد تخالفه في اجتهاده، لكن النية شيء نحسن الظن به، هو أخونا في الله هكذا. فأنا رأيت هذا، وأنا كنت أحبه قبل المشاكل، لكن بعد المشاكل ازدادت محبتي له، لأنه رأيت في هذا الرجل التمسك بمبادئ الإسلام. لأن تعرف الرجل، أنت ما تعرف الرجل في الرخاء، تعرفه في الشدة. يعني كل واحد معك في الرخاء، معي أنا معك، لكن في شدة أنت تعرف الصديق من غيره.
And I also think that part of the other issue is that what I like to call, the product and the salesman. When you look at Islam, we have the
great product,
lousy salesman.
I think it's a very هذا مثل ممتاز. التاجر والبضاعة، بضاعتنا ممتازة ولكن شكل التاجر يحتاج إلى تحسين. لأن إذا طرقت بابا وأنت خبيث الشكل وسخ وهكذا، ولو كانت البضاعة التي معك ممتازة، الذي يفتح الباب يشمئز يخاف، هو ما يبغي يسمع إيش عندكم. يعني فهذا. وفي واحد قال لي الإسلام أحسن قضية مع أسوأ محامين. The best case, worst lawyers.
right. Yeah, right.
فأنت جزاكم الله خيرا إمام.
بس نسألك سؤال شيخ.
الحمد لله. نحن الآن مع باربرا ألشانسكي، ولها خلفية عجيبة. أمها أصلهم من فلسطين وسوريا جذورهم، وتربت في بيت عربي، ولكن أبوها كان من اليهود من إسرائيل. أنت محامية, you're a lawyer, is that right?
Right.
We were here with Michael Ratner talking about his work and very impressed with it. And you're doing a lot of work with Muslims, is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think the media has not helped this community.
Yeah.
In fact, it has, I think, been part of the problem of characterizing anyone who's Muslim, regardless of, their ethnicity, their
Right.
nationality,
Yeah.
wherever they come from, as a person of concern. A person of concern.
I don't care whether you have permits or not. Okay, we arrested a person of interest yesterday going across the Bay Bridge. He was videotaping, and it's a vulnerable target. Okay, we become suspicious when people videotaping going up 95. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've been taping all the way from DC.
And we've gotten telephone calls because of it.
And I think that happened long before 9/11.
Sure.
And 9/11 just gave people the excuse to put it up front in the most egregious, horrible way. I can't tell you what it's like to read memos that recommend to the president to pick an island that they think no court can reach, so that no one can review what happens to the people.
Judicial review,
None.
which is foundation
None.
of
Right, and they
just
picked
society.
Guantanamo
Because of that.
Because of
Cuba,
that,
right.
and at the other
So they
memos,
chose an island for that reason,
For
to be
that reason.
isolated.
and they chose it with an eye towards torturing Muslims
Right.
and Arabs from around the world. What's amazing to me is that they kept those memos. Like, what were they thinking when they kept them? How come they didn't shred them? You know, because when you read it, it could not be more horrifying.
Well, I mean, obviously, this is something very profoundly at the core of your being, that you're doing this work because it's not for money.
No.
Yeah. Right?
Right.
I mean, what is it?
What we now know is that the FBI set up these hotlines, and they would arrest people based on uncorroborated tips. And someone would say, there's the Moroccan Star restaurant on the corner there on Atlantic Avenue. There's a whole bunch of guys that hang out outside. I don't like how they look. And they would be arrested. I am not lying. That's what happened.
In an attempt at fairness, if there is any here.
Yeah.
You know, this city was so traumatized. I mean,
Yes.
it's just unreal, the trauma of, seeing these Twin Towers collapse before their eyes, attack by Arabs that had come into this country with passports, given visas, and they see all these pictures of people that fit this thing, and these people are looking around, they're terrified, and they're calling up. The agencies themselves, I think, were just so overwhelmed with their caseloads, what they were doing, focusing all that on top of everything else. Is it getting better? I mean, are you seeing, in other words, was this an overreaction that's starting to be redressed, or are we still dealing with the same problems?
I think we're still dealing with the same problems. I hate to say that.
I think the irony is that we're saying we need to teach the world, how to be more just, more democratic, more, and here we are using some of the same tactics that are being used in these other, I mean, there's an immense irony here.
All of those cases, and now in the case that we have against the two American companies for their role in the torture at Abu Ghraib.
That's your lawsuit.
Yeah. And in all of those.
How high do you think it went?
There is no question that it went all the way to the president. There's just no, it's silly that they say anything different. When you see the memos that went
So
from...
you've read these memos?
From Gonzalez, the White House counsel, to the president, from John Yoo to the head of the Department of Defense. All of them are signed off by Rumsfeld. He signs off on all of them. And they are incredibly detailed. And you know what they say about torture? Not only are there these series of memos that talk about how we're going to redefine what torture is, despite the fact that there's very clear law.
Extensive international codes.
They like try and redefine it. And then what they do is they say, well, if other people carry it out, private entities, then the government is not responsible, and we can't be tried for war crimes.
One of the things we've learned during this trip was we met a lot of people who went beyond the boundaries of religion and are dealing on a human level. And I mean, here we are sitting, I'm a Saudi and you're an Arab American Jew,
Right.
and it is incomprehensible to some in our region that a Jewish person will be defending a Muslim. And I'm sure a lot of viewers are wondering, on what basis are you doing that? Why are you doing that? To some people, you're purely the enemy. And they might not grasp why you're spending your time.
Your
like
life.
Sheikh Hamza said,
I mean, this
you're in a
is your
position
life,
that's not paying much money that that you could have been paid in another position? Why?
I think, well, there's a lot of reasons. I think part of it is, you know, the Arab culture is my culture. Even if I am Jewish, you know, I still feel that these people that I represent are my people. And I think also because I have watched the discrimination in this country and been horrified at it. And, you know, the horror that I have at discrimination against African Americans is no different than the horror that I have at the discrimination against Arab Americans. I don't think this is who people are. I think people are better than that. And I guess what I want is the world to know that there are people that care about everyone and are horrified of what's done because of someone's skin color, because of someone's religion, because of where someone comes from. And then I think also in this country people don't recognize and haven't ever recognized the contributions to civilization that the Arab culture has made and the Muslim faith has made. And you know, you talked about law, but a lot of the structure of our Western law is based on the structure of law in Islam.
Sharia, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
People don't know
They
that.
don't know the fact that Napoleonic law is almost
No.
entirely.
But
entirely
you know,
derivative.
I know that I studied this, you know, who these people are.
Right.
It doesn't, you know, because there's antipathy about Israel, you know, in the world out there, it makes no difference about human rights for people, for these people. And a lot of them, the supporters of the center and the progressive Jewish community in the United States are extremely opposed to Zionism, to all of the policies of the current government, and are all very pro-Palestinian. So you know, my views, I'm very comfortable here. You know, like, you know, when we sue on behalf of the Palestinians, we have 2 lawsuits against the United States for like the kinds of weapons they gave to the Israeli government. We sue on behalf of the Palestinians for human rights in the Israeli courts against the Israeli government. And that is a huge part of our work. And that's all supported by the Jewish community here, which is, I think, you know, I was surprised to find out. Like I thought, you know, I'm going to be one of a few.
Right.
But then
Michael's a
So you go
real
beyond
inspiration.
looking at the religion, it's more like to the human. Or
It's
the soul
human
itself, yeah.
rights.
So
It's-
you look at the human rather than what's your religion.
Well,
what's
I
your
think
background.
it's really been an inspiration to be with you. I want to say I'm just really. I feel really.
I have to say I'm really grateful for you coming here because you know, what you are talking about is a part of me that I don't get to talk about very much because I'm Jewish and I'm Arab, and people don't understand that in this country or in any other country.
I think we have to get beyond labels, and I mean, our Prophet stood once for a funeral. It's in our soundest tradition, Sahih Bukhari, and one of the companions said, "It's a Jew." And, you know, in other words, you know, you're standing for a Jew, and he said, "Awalaysat nafsa," isn't it a human soul? So, anyway, I wanted to give you, this is a poem, famous Arabic poem I translated, and it's got هذا جزء كذلك من مركز شونبر في دراسات تراث السود في أمريكا.
He was Muslim. He said that very powerfully so that it was very clear who he was. But at the same time, he addressed issues that were outside of the Muslim community that made him, you know, become the property of everyone.
I think he got a vision of the universality of Islam, and he realized that this religion is much bigger than I had any imagination. And this is something I think the Muslims, they need to wake up to
Absolutely.
that, because they forget, you know, this religion is talking to humanity. Ya ayyuhan nas, you know, Malikin nas, you know, Rabbin nas, Malikin nas, Ilahin nas, you know, 3 times. Lord of humanity, God of humanity. Muslims have forgotten that.
What is it? Gifts from Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And certainly an example that we
Well, the
need
Prophet
to...
ﷺ said, "An-nasu ma'adan." The people are minds. And he said, "Khayrukum fil jahiliyyati, khayrukum fil Islam idha faqahu." The best of you in pre-Islamic time are the best of you in Islam if you gain understanding. This has been really exciting, and yeah, it's always a pleasure to see you. And I mean, I think about you and your work.
This is where he was killed, right? He was standing here.
Here. Yes. Here.
And what was this thing before?
This was the
theater?
Audubon Ballroom. They used to have public gatherings, meetings, dance hall. It was all of that.
And he was giving a speech in here.
Inshallah, we should make a...